Hello, everyone. Have you ever had to deal with someone who thinks they're better than everyone else? It can be tough. But today, we're going to learn about a trick called scare tactics. These are just words we can use to show them we're not afraid. So, stick around to learn how to handle these situations like a champ. Let's go. In this video, our goal is simple. We want to equip you with strategies and tactics to effectively deal with narcissists. By the end, you'll have the tools you need to navigate these challenging interactions with confidence and grace. Narcissism means someone who's really into themselves, thinking they're the best. They might always want attention and not care much about other people's feelings. Imagine you're at school and there's this kid. Let's call him Tim. Tim always talks about how he's the fastest runner, the smartest in class, and how he's the best at everything. He never listens to anyone else and always wants to be the center of attention. Even when someone else does well, Tim finds a way to make it about himself. That's a bit like what narcissism is, being so focused on yourself that you don't really notice or care about others. When we talk about dealing with narcissists, words are like our secret weapons. They help us stand up for ourselves and show narcissists that we won't let them push us around. By choosing the right words, we can protect ourselves and make sure they understand our boundaries. It's like using magic words to keep ourselves safe. Certain words and phrases can have a big impact on narcissistic people emotionally and mentally. For example, if you challenge their sense of superiority or point out their flaws, it can make them feel threatened or angry. They might even try harder to assert their dominance or manipulate the situation. On the other hand, if you praise them excessively, it can fuel their ego and encourage their narcissistic behavior. So, it's important to be mindful of the words we use and how they might affect narcissistic individuals emotionally and psychologically. It's super important to be strong and sure of ourselves when we talk to narcissistic folks. When we speak confidently and stand up for ourselves, it sends a clear message that we won't let them walk all over us. So, always remember to speak up with confidence and strength in these situations. Scare tactics are basically strategies we use to let narcissists know we're not intimidated by them. It's about using specific words or actions to show them that we won't put up with their behavior. For instance, firmly setting boundaries or calmly standing our ground can make them think twice about how they're treating us. So, scare tactics are like a way of standing up for ourselves and making sure narcissists understand where we draw the line. When you're talking to someone who keeps disrespecting you, it's important to let them know that their behavior isn't okay. One way to do this is by using consequences. This means that you tell them what will happen if they continue to be disrespectful. For example, you might say something like, "If you keep disrespecting me, I'll have to stop talking to you." This means that if they don't change their behavior and continue being rude, you'll have to end the conversation. It's like setting a boundary. You're letting the person know that there are rules for how they should treat you, and if they break those rules, there will be consequences. But it's also giving them a chance to fix things. By telling them what will happen if they keep being disrespectful, you're giving them a chance to change their behavior and keep the conversation going in a positive way. Redirecting the focus is like changing the subject when things get uncomfortable. Instead of getting stuck in a conversation you don't want to have, you can politely steer it in a different direction. For example, if a narcissist starts talking about something that makes you feel uneasy, you can say, "Let's talk about something else. I'm not interested in discussing this further." This lets them know you'd rather talk about something different and sets a boundary around what topics are off limits. It's a way of staying in control of the conversation and not letting the narcissist dictate what you talk about. By redirecting the focus, you can keep things positive and avoid getting drawn into arguments or uncomfortable discussions. Taking a break is like pressing pause when things get too heated with narcissists. It's a way to step back and cool off before things escalate. For example, you might say, "I need some space right now." Let's revisit this conversation when we're both calmer. This tells the narcissist that you need time to calm down and collect your thoughts before continuing the discussion. Taking a break gives both of you a chance to cool off and approach the conversation more calmly later on. It's a healthy way to manage conflicts and ensure that both parties are in a better frame of mind to communicate effectively. Instead of feeling weak, we can use words and thoughts that make us feel powerful. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," we can say, "I am strong and can handle anything." This way, we can face narcissists with confidence and not feel overwhelmed. Let's imagine a scenario where you're working on a group project with a narcissistic classmate. They constantly criticize your ideas and try to take credit for your work. How would you handle this situation? Or perhaps you're in a relationship with a narcissistic partner who always puts their needs above yours. How would you assert yourself and set boundaries in that dynamic? Let's see how scare tactics can be used in these scenarios for a positive outcome. In the group project scenario, you could use a scare tactic by calmly but firmly stating, "If you continue to undermine my contributions, I'll have to discuss this with our professor." This shows the narcissistic classmate that their behavior has consequences and encourages them to collaborate respectfully. In the relationship scenario, you might say, "If you keep prioritizing your needs over mine, I'll need to reconsider our relationship." This scare tactic highlights the importance of mutual respect and prompts the narcissistic partner to consider your feelings. By applying scare tactics in these situations, you assert your boundaries and encourage narcissists to change their behavior for a more positive outcome. Let's all give these tactics a shot in our own lives. If you ever come across someone who's narcissistic, remember what we talked about. Try standing up for yourself, setting boundaries, and using strong words. By giving these tactics a go, you can feel more confident and deal with tough situations better. Give them a try and see how they work for you.